Evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, I get the message, I'll stop tanking, alright. So what we're doing today is something a bit more fun. It's Evolution 7, best dropship pilot in the game bar none, is going to fly around and I'm going to shoot things from his dropship. So a lot of this is actually to kind of check out dropships since 1.7. Now, with a very sad face, I used to actually use the assault dropship, but again, for the sad face, I lost the ability to use it when they respect. Because for some reason I had the ability to run full gun logi et al. And also the advanced dropship, but for some reason when I respect, I just didn't have any of the points for the dropship, which I guess it's a shame in a way. But I guess in essence, I'm kind of curious to see how they are now. Certainly with the ammo, as you can see, they use ammo now, and certainly with the ability to remove turrets, etc., makes them for quite an interesting gun platform. And I think certainly I was impressed, as you'll see as we go through this match. Wow, dropships are good now. And I think this was only using an advanced missile launcher as well, so yeah, that's probably a good testament to the middle ground of certainly the turrets. I even think militia is not actually that bad, so militia turrets are pretty good. I think also the fact that a dropship now is, I think, 60k ISK, is that correct? Somebody tell me if I've got that right. And a fully fitted one probably is going to cost you not a great deal over maybe 90k, which is less than most drop suits, so I think certainly worthy of having a look at. The assault dropship is obviously more, because obviously it's a more advanced fit, and it's certainly an advanced module, rather vehicle, so you do have to pay a bit more for that. But again, I think they have something very awesome about them, and I think turrets were always going to be, I think, an interesting one to review. The ammo on them is slightly annoying, I must admit. Already I was quite annoyed at the way that the reload time is not great, but again, is it a big deal? No. Does it maybe balance the weapon somewhat? Definitely, because you could be kind of tracking someone, shooting, running, gunning, firing, and then you run out of ammo, and that gives them precious time to evade. So I like that. I think that's very good. I think the dropship as well seems to be pretty tough. However, if you're a noob like me, you're actually going to always end up getting shot out of it like a sniper. And I tell you what, I was in fits of laughter when I saw that. Look at that ragdoll. This is actually a little bit of a kind of, I guess, an impromptu celebration of ragdoll as well. So I'll show you some of the funnier ragdolls as we progress. But yeah, I got sniped, and I think that's really cool. I love that you can still get sniped out of these things. And I think that really makes for quite an interesting map. I always talk about tactics. Whenever I do these games and these maps, I'm always interested to see what the tactics are. And I think certainly from the gangs you've seen us running lately, we've usually had Evo in his assault dropship, and usually myself and a few others tanking, and a mixer in between. And I think it's worth sort of discussing that, because certainly that range and depth of gang is doing well. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, epic. Look at that. Look at that. I can fly. Oh, again, I just sat in creases of laughter. I'm a very simple guy. It's very easy to amuse myself. Literally, I just think the ragdoll effect in this game is just lovely. Certainly, I've noticed it when you're rolling around in a tank and you literally shoot someone point blank, their body goes flying, which is very accurate. So I quite like that. I think in general, the game for dropships is feeling quite good. They don't necessarily feel, I guess, any better. It's a bit dangerous to say that, I guess, but certainly, I guess, from the observation I make, and also talking to people, it doesn't feel that obviously dropships are ridiculous, but I think the price obviously coming down has been a big deal, and the stability in the turrets obviously is quite cool as well. So I think just generally I would say that certainly dropshipping is worthy of your time. I think if you've got a couple of mates, maybe just one mate, maybe you've got one friend in the whole world, just get them to gun for you and run the best fit you possibly can, and I think you'll have a laugh. Yeah, you'll get shot down, but it's a militia dropship. Who cares? Even if you run something like a more advanced one, you don't have to run the Viper and the Gorgon. You can actually maybe run a better one if you've got skills for it, and that'll give you a little bit more survivability. But to be honest, I think the disposable nature of this game is what we should be celebrating, because certainly we throw the drop suits and the clones away, so why would vehicles be any different? And I think the price being a lot more competitive, I think is the fair word, then, you know, it's within your interest to, you know, use a dropship and just jump out of it and get yourself a tank called in when this thing explodes. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not decadent, it's just the way it is. This is the future. Surely they just have some massive 3D printer, like printing these things off in the RDV, then the RDV comes back, they melt that down. That RDV could literally be your next tank. You don't know, you never know. So I think certainly, you know, don't be afraid to use vehicles and equipment. They are what make the difference. It's always, I hate to quote IRL here, but no army in the world would ever go into war nowadays without sort of mechanized infantry and aerial support. So going into a game with just 6 soldiers is cool, all power to you, bro, but I think going into a battle with maybe 4 soldiers, 1 tank and 1 dropship is quite an interesting, you know, scenario. I think that gives you quite a bit of power as well on the battlefield. Particularly when you can kind of see this as more of a troop conveyance, so if you actually arm it to be more of a troop ship as well. That's always very cool. I think, you know, the ability to get troops moved around is always underestimated, and I think LAVs are pretty good, but I think LAVs are very disposable, and I think soon, you know, just call me paranoid, but I think soon eventually the LAV blueprints will probably be removed as well, because I don't know, when you can spam eternal vehicles, what's the point of vehicles? You know what I mean? What's the speciality of a vehicle? And I think there's a reason why there's no tank and dropship blueprint originals or BPOs, because you don't, you know, that would just be game breaking. If you could call in a tank continually, wow, that would be pretty bad. I don't know, they'll probably now I think about it, they'll probably never take it off people, but I just think it's going to be something they'll maybe look at. So maybe it'll just become a really terrible version of the LAV that only 1 person can drive. So yeah, the person still gets the benefit, but the squad doesn't. I don't know, just throwing ideas out. But I get this impression that I think vehicles are going up in their kind of importance almost. And I think currently having them as disposable, cheap things is a fantastically good thing. It's annoying though. I mean, again, I hark back to previous videos where I do understand that, you know, a lot of people are, you know, quote queuing, but I'm not going to quote fucking internet memes if you don't mind, because no, I don't do that. I think certainly what I'm hearing from the forums, when I dare read them, is just that there's a lot of rage about the fact that the old gun game, infantry game is not as robust as perhaps it once was, which again I sympathize with, because I've got to admit, since 1.7 came in, I've not really run a drop suit much at all. I've generally favoured running vehicles, even to the point where, you know, I'm running my scout again, yeah, but not a great deal. I think it's just more fun to fly a tank around and, you know, or drive a tank rather, and, you know, just enjoy that kind of the game. I think there's been a speed nerf to tanks as well, so obviously tanks are kind of a bit more, you know, bit more in line with what makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. So here we go, mini game. Guess how many people we're about to kill. Ding. 2. This is, I mean, again, this is probably a great advert for how powerful these things are. But look at that. Again, this is a standard, or rather, an advanced turret, and it just shows you how, you know, pretty good, stable, and powerful these things are. Plus, I've got to admit, I've not had much fun as this for a while, and I think, yeah, tanking's good, but this is even more fun. So I think, you know, if you fancy a bit of a change, give this a go. And that kind of draws me neatly onto the last subject here, which is I think a lot of people generally tend to run the same game, the same suit, the same fit, the same map, the same style, same corps, same groups, same, you know, squads, blah blah. And I'm always quite impressed when people do that, because, you know, having that kind of mind is actually of envy to me, because I get bored. I want to try new things. I get a bit bored of the same stuff over and over. So already I'm getting a bit bored of tanks. But I just think, you know, sometimes I think some people don't really go for it. So here we go, a bit of a kind of showcase of Evo's talent here. Look at this. Now this impressed me. Yes, it's the last dregs of the map, and he's flown through the pyramid hangar on their spawn in the red zone. That takes balls. Oh, he is good. I know I keep, you know, saying it, but I think he's got to be one of the best, if not the best, dropship pilot in the game. So there we go. Interesting stuff. Dropships, very nice, very cool. Loving the turrets. I think, you know, absolutely give them a go. Even a militia does quite a bit of damage. So I think definitely consider just strapping up, getting in, and giving it a go. And that reminds me of something I said to my friend a few days ago. She can't walk now. I'm joking. But anyway, it's a fun game out there, and I think a lot of people are kind of running the same gun game. Give it a go. Try something different. Maybe just go and I don't know, try a heavy. If you've never tried a heavy suit, just buy a militia heavy suit and the level 1 heavy machine gun. Give it a go. Apparently they've been buffed. They're quite good now. I think there's so much in the game. Literally so much in the game, and if you just run the same prototype suit with the same Devol, same little core locust grenades, and you just run with the same squad, the same group, I give you a month and you'll probably be gone. On that rather upbeat note, hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.